listening to the Digitally Irresistible podcast, where we cover the optimization of digital technologies and irresistible people. Brought to you by iQor. Each episode features someone who sheds a little more light on the ins and outs of delivering a great employee and customer experience that has a measurable impact on the business. And now, here's today's guest. Welcome to another episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast. I'm your host, Bernie Borges. Today's guest is Fabian Garcia. Welcome, Fabian.
Thank you, Bernie. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you here. Fabian, you have been in the contact center operations business for about 15 years, and your career has progressed from being an agent to being the country lead in Colombia with iQor. Along the way in your career, you've gained a perspective that enables you to manage a call center as a business while simultaneously growing and developing the people on your team. So Fabian, on this episode, let's unpack your role as Senior Director of Operations and Country Lead at iQor in Colombia. But first, let's begin with your backstory. Tell us your backstory. How did you get to where you are today?
Oh my God, Bernie. Well, I'm a lawyer. I studied law in Colombia and started working in the BPO industry and just fell in love with it. It was love at first sight. I I started learning about the industry, and as I was able to progress through different leadership positions, I just kept, wanting more knowledge about this industry. So it's been 15 years now. So very excited. If when I look back, all the years that I have gained and the people that I have met, so that really makes a difference, and that's what I really love about this industry, working with the people.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to talk more about that, Fabian. I know that iQor reached out to you about this role. So let's begin with, what was it about this role at iQor that attracted you to iQor?
Well, Bernie, last year Icor did approach to me, to discuss or to review the opportunity of opening our first operation in South America, in Medellín, Colombia, which it was an incredible, opportunity to build an operation from scratch, to build, to put together a solid team that will be able to lead uh, the start in a new country.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit about the location that we opened our first site in South America, specifically in Colombia, and that's Medellin. Why is Medellin a great location for iQor?
Medellin, it's a beautiful city. First of all, Bernie. I mean, the people really show their passion. They have a beautiful drive. Towards work. Um, the city has the best transportation system in Colombia. It's the only city that has a metro system. So definitely for our talent pool, it's very convenient to have a good transportation system. The level of engagement of the people, the people here is really passionate to what they do. So when they come to work, they really put their best effort. Um, and the English skills was as well one of the main drivers. Medellin is one of the most touristic cities in Colombia. So that exposure to the American culture as well brings, a different perspective to the people that we work with. And definitely it has been a recipe for success.
Let's talk about the local talent pool from the context of them being bilingual. How does that play into the support that we provide for our clients who choose to partner with iQor in Colombia?
No, it's a key element, Bernie, because in Medellin, there are different universities, different English institutes that, help increase the talent pool available. However, one important key differentiator of Medellin is the exposure to the American culture because of the millions of visitors that the city receives every year. So the combination of the different institutes available for learning English and as well that exposure to the American culture, it has been a perfect combination for the talent pool that we need.
Fantastic. Well, I know that in the short time that we've been operational in Medellin, at the time of this recording in the summer of 2023, we're not quite at the 1 year anniversary. That's going to be in October of 2023. So, in under a year, I know that you've under your leadership, Fabian, we've grown to hundreds of agents and multiple clients. What can you tell us that our clients are saying about our location in Colombia?
Well, Bernie, the clients have been very surprised in a positive way by the type of leadership, the kind of leadership that we can find in Medellin. How well structured the leadership, how human. I mean, the human touch is really important, and the location is just amazing. So it's a combination by finding the right people, the right talent in the right place, and it has been incredible for this, very aggressive growth that we have had in a successful way with different clients.
Fabian, can you share a story of a client that came on board and sort of that experience that the client had with you and your team?
Yes, Bernie. So we had one client that wanted to meet the local team, the potential new hires that we will have. So at that moment, the company didn't have an operation. So we opened the position, and it was really good to see how, I mean, the people reacted, and we had people coming in that wanted to work for us as a new company, and they even were willing to be interviewed by a client without even, you know having a job, actually. So they trusted the brand, the local team, and it was an amazing experience for them. And the beautiful, side of the story is that they are still working with us. So, like, they were the pioneers in that initial interview, are still working with us as a company, because they trusted the brand and the team.
So, what's next for iQor in Colombia, in Medellin? What are we looking at in terms of the future?
Well, Bernie, as you mentioned, we already have hundreds of agents and multiple clients. So now we need to expand our existing location. After that, the plan is to consider a second location in Medellin, because of how we have been able to grow quickly in the city, and then look for a second city in Colombia to continue expanding our footprint in the country.
Fantastic. Well, it's exciting to see the growth. Thank you for your leadership, Fabian, in driving that growth. It's exciting to see the reception that we're getting from our client base in Colombia. So I'm going to turn to our final question, and we call this the fun question, Fabian. And you live in a great city. So my question is, when you're not working, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh my God, Bernie. Well, it will be spending time with my family, first of all. Then I love soccer and Formula One. I think that those are like the three main activities that I like to do in my spare time.
Wow, those are great activities. Well, Fabian, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me on this episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast. Really proud of what you're doing in your leadership and the team that you're building there, the early success that we've experienced in supporting clients at iQor in Colombia. And just want to thank you for joining me and sharing that story. And we'll probably have you back somewhere down the road to give us an update on the continued success that we're having at iQor in Colombia.
Well, Bernie, thank you for having me here. Thank you for the opportunity. And well, we'll see each other again soon.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast, where we cover the optimization of digital technologies and irresistible people, delivering a great employee and customer experience that has a measurable impact on the business. Brought to you by iQor. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss future episodes.